It's an unseasonably mild first Saturday of the new year in our nation's capital. We're at the MCI Center in Washington, where the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers visit the Georgetown Hoyas. And a very pleasant good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Bucky Waters. Happy New Year to all of you. And if you're a fan of either of these two teams, there's plenty to be happy about. At 7-2, Rutgers off to its best start in 6 years. And Bucky, Hervé Lamazana would love nothing more than to begin the new year the way he ended the old one.
Well, he's been very steady. 8 out of 9 games in double figures, but he's coming off a terrific tournament. In games against Northwestern and UTEP, he was just on fire. 38 points, and there was one of his 31 rejects this year. He's an adept passer, and of course, like all big guys now, or almost all of them, he can go outside and hit the three. He has just shown such versatility as a 6'10 senior.
Gary Waters very pleased with Lamazana's consistency in his last 3 games, averaging a double-double along with 5 rebounds. Now on the other end of the floor, Georgetown is a perfect 9-0, but these Hoyas will never be confused with the old days of Big Man U.
No way. Morning, Mutombo, Sweetney, all gone in their place. Aircraft carriers dismissed. It's just jet fighters now. A whole slew of them. They slice you, dice you. Unlike the old Hoyas, they don't bruise you as much. And they're leading the nation in steals, and they're leading the Big East in turnover ratio. It's quickness, but one thing is still sure. The Hoyas come after you.
And 4 of those Hoyas are among the top 8 in the Big East in steals. One of them's Brandon Bowman. He's 6 with 20 steals. And Gerald Riley's 3rd with 23. The opening tip is next. Welcome back to Washington, and the only meeting of the season between Rutgers and Georgetown. Here are the starting lineups. Ricky Shields leads the Scarlet Knights in scoring with 15. He's in the backcourt with Marquise Webb, Adrian Hill, the center, and Hervé Lamazana and Sean Aksani, the forwards. Gary Waters, the coach, in his 3rd season, took the Rutgers to the NIT 2 years ago. And for the hometown Georgetown Hoyas, Darrell Owens is 2nd in the country in three-point shooting percentage. He'll get the start at the small forward spot. And the Hoyas are coached by Craig Esherick, who is in his 6th season at the helm, and his next career win will be his 100th. Tap quickly controlled by Georgetown, and on the right, Bowman. Down low to Cortland Freeman, and an early foul on Adrian Hill.
Speaking with Craig Esherick the other day, he just really thrilled with the way his big men are running the floor. That time, there wasn't anything cerebral at all. The big men just went for the box. And the way this quick, versatile Hoya team is playing, in addition to drilling the threes, they're looking for that big guy running the floor. This one paid off.
Freeman at the free throw line, a 60% shooter. This is the 33rd time these two teams have met over the years. And Georgetown with the slight edge, but a big edge at home. Rutgers has won 1 time here at the MCI Arena in 5 visits. And an early lead for the Hoyas, and we'll see full court pressure. Bucky, we'll see a lot of that today.
Oh boy, both teams love to come up and get you.
Webb, the freshman from Paterson, New Jersey, who runs the show at the point. This is Lamazana. Look at the way the Hoyas have extended that man-to-man in the half court.
Well, they've always kind of come out on the perimeter and played tough, even in the days with the big man. Now they don't drive you to the center. They strip you.
Lamazana, shot clock down to 10. Cross-court pass knocked away by Cook. Shot clock down to 5. Somebody has to hoist one. Shields gets it off, just like it was drawn up, right? On our opening possession, this is what we're going to do.
That was a major ad-lib, but I'll tell you, when you play defense, Bob, that long, that hard, and as the buzzer goes off, some guy hits one off balance. That's a dagger in your heart.
With that 3, Shields moves into 9th in the Rutgers career list in threes. It was his 122nd, and he comes away with the rebound of that deflected shot. Lamazana to Webb. They're looking inside for Hill. They can't get it to him. Aksani. Left side of the floor, Shields takes it into the lane, and look how he's surrounded by all those white shirts. Turnover number 1 for the Scarlet Knights.
The key for both teams offensively is, can we break the other team's perimeter defense down off the dribble? When you start talking about pressure defense or good defense of any kind, that's where you start. You can't let them break you down off the dribble. And both of these teams have guys that can break you down and destroy you.
Cook tried to feed inside to his high school teammate Brandon Bowman, deflected by the Scarlet Knights. 21 seconds left on the shot clock for the Hoyas.
And it wasn't like they were just in the neighborhood. They came from Inglewood and Santa Monica, California.
Left side jumper by Gerald Riley, the fourth leading scorer in the Big East. He's averaging 19 per game.
Thing that separates Riley, he's got such a good mid-range game. 1 or 2 dribbles, pull up, almost a lost art now. They either want to shoot the 3 or take it to the rim.
Webb picks up his dribble, then hands to Shields, defended by Riley, and Riley will be called for his first foul of the afternoon.
Gerald Riley, here's that little pull-up move we talked about. Makes the penetration, able, under control, able to square up and drill.
Lamazana inbounding directly in front of us. Axani. Hill defended by Cortland Freeman. Lamazana up top, gets the screen from Axani. He's doubled off the screen. Backs his way in, finds Hill for the jump hook in the lane. Kept alive inside, and coming away with it finally is Riley.
Well, so far, both teams have boasted defense. The Hoyas really impressive. Rutgers having a hard time getting a look.
Owens airmails that pass into the Rutgers bench. Turnover number 1 for the Hoyas, and as Bucky, you mentioned at the top of the telecast, the Hoyas number 1 in the conference in that all-important turnover ratio category.
Well, they're plus 24 on the season in 9 games. That's an extraordinary figure. They're plus 54 in steals. It's been dominant. Now the question is schedule. They have not played a major schedule, whereas the Scarlet Knights have been, they played Northwestern, they played Penn State, they played at Wisconsin. Much tougher competition.
Lamazana's shot blocked in the lane by Bowman. Shot clock didn't recycle. Missing the 3 is Webb, and here comes Riley. Quickly to Bowman. Bowman, foot was on the line. I think it's a 2. No, it's a 3. Little hesitation there before Jim Haney and Andre Patillo signaled at each other that it was a 3. Webb, right side to Shields.
Right now, the Scarlet Knights going too much east-west. They got to start penetrating just like that.
Shields with an off-balance jumper, and Hill with the putback and the foul.
When's the last time a Hoya team was concerned that the other team was bigger, stronger, and better rebounding? Well, today's the day. The Scarlet Knights are very physical inside, and they are bigger than the Hoyas. Nice soft off the rim, and a good quick putback by Adrian Hill, the 6'8" sophomore from Canton, Ohio. That's strength.
And Hill will go to the line to try to complete the 3-point play. The foul was on Riley, and he'll leave with 2 fouls in the early going. So that hurts the Hoyas big time. Riley is without question their most versatile player.
Well, he's the senior too. This is basically a young team, or young and inexperienced team. Riley, of course, a senior with he was over 15 points 15 times last year, so he brings stability to the Hoyas.
And they go much smaller with Ray Reed, number 5, checking into the lineup, and he of course is from Inglewood, California also. So the Hoyas, 60% of the players on the floor coming from the Los Angeles area right now.
Well, they always kid about those California guys with sand in their slippers, but these kids come get you. They're tough.
Lamazana missing the Bowman, rebounding the Bowman miss from 3-point range, and Lamazana will hoist his own 3. I don't think that's the shot Gary Waters wanted that early in the possession.
No, but when the Hoyas are thwarting any penetration, sometimes you're anxious to take the easy way out.
This time it's a left side 3 by Darrell Owens, who's second in the country in 3-point shooting percentage. Timeout Gary Waters. Georgetown by 5. Darrell Owens now a remarkable 15 of 22 from behind the arc for the season.
And the irony is he's shooting only 53% from the foul line, 7 for 13. Obviously, against Axani, he did not come out and make him put it on the floor, and that is well advised. When a guy's shooting over 70%, you want to see if he can do something else.
Craig Esherick told me the other day we need to use our quickness more off the offensive boards. They sure have been using it throughout the season. to steal the ball, and their defense has been terrific. He wants to see them use that same athletic ability, the quickness, to rebound a bit better.
Well, we're now into January. We're now into conference play, and there's been a lot of experimenting by all coaches as to combinations and what'll work, what won't work. And again, I go back to the fact that the Hoyas really have not been challenged, and the Scarlet Knights have played pretty tough people. So Gary Waters ought to have a little bit better idea of playing on the road against tough competition.
Pass deflected out of bounds, and that will bring us to our first official timeout of the afternoon. Georgetown has doubled up Rutgers in the early going. Well, it's semester break here at Georgetown and at schools across the land, so the members of the Georgetown band are also celebrating the holiday break at home, and the Hoyas have imported a band for the day to entertain the crowd here at the MCI Arena. Big weekend of basketball. The Washington Wizards had a win here last night. And this is the Big East opener for both Georgetown and Rutgers. The only Big East conference game on the schedule this weekend.
Talked about Gary Waters' schedule. The irony of it, he played Northwestern with Bill Carmody, former Princeton coach, and Princeton within a week. So they got to see the whole Pete Carrill ensemble, and they were able to win both games. Fortunate, you get one preparation for two teams.
This is the third time that Rutgers is inbounding in the backcourt on this same possession. They get it up the floor quickly to Lamazana. He missed the shot, but there's Hill for the putback.
Hill's reputation as a relentless rebounder, but then again you see the big men running the floor.
Quickly the other way, it's Owens. He had an open three, and this time he has an open two. Out of the backcourt, Webb bumped by Ashanti Cook. That's his first and number 3 on the Hoyas. Cook leads Georgetown in assists. He's one of their 4 players in the top 8 in the conference in steals. He'll get a seat and replaced by freshman Matt Causey from Gainesville, Georgia. It's a very young Georgetown team.
Causey only 5'11". Not a good, particularly good 2 for 8 from 3, but he's getting high grades for his aggressiveness, passing, and pressure D.
Inside to Hill, can't get it to go, and on the rebound, it's put back up by Shields. He tries to create some space, and there was no room for it. Here comes Reed in the forecourt, penetrates off balance, and he got bailed out. Not a very good shot, but he draws the foul and gets to the line.
It's imperative for Rutgers, with superior inside strength and rebounding ability, to get in there and get that ball on the board. Avoid turnovers at all costs. The Hoyas, if you turn that ball over between the circles, it's a layup, probably a dunk. So anything that they can do against this great pressure to get it down in the lane is vital.
Foul was on Marquise Webb, his first 2 on the Scarlet Knights. As Reed misses the first free throw, he's only a 55% shooter from the line. Amadou Kilkenny Jow replaces Cortland Freeman for the Hoyas. One thing you have to do, Bucky, if you want to play this frenetic pace, frenetic style defense, you have to substitute off.
Yeah, you do, and I think the better coaches get their players in somehow, some way in the first half, even if it's only for a few seconds, just so that they get immersed, get wet, and if they have to come back and use them at a critical time at the end of the game, it should really help their poise.
There's a significant size mismatch in this man-to-man here with Causey at 5'11" trying to guard Webb, and Causey will be called for a reach-in foul. That's 4 on Craig Escherich's Hoyas and 1 on Causey.
I think one of the things the Hoyas have to understand here today is, with the people that they've played, where they just absolutely destroyed them with all of these steals in the backcourt, this is a Big East team. This is a Big East guards, and it's going to be a little tougher to intimidate them. But right now, the Hoyas are a little anxious to strip and run.
Freeman checks back into the lineup, and a travel call on Rutgers as Hill forgot to put the ball on the floor. And Gary Waters will go to his bench. And our first look of the day at Byron Joines, a 6'9" freshman from Baltimore, a former high school teammate of Denver Nuggets rookie sensation Carmelo Anthony.
He looks like one of the former Hoyas centers. He looks like he's in the wrong shirt.
Out of the backcourt, it's Reed. Gets the screen from Kilkenny Jow. Freeman with the jump shot. Long rebound, and Causey outfights everyone for the loose ball. Back to Owens. Already has 1 3. Finally missed one from 3-point range. He hasn't missed many all year. Joel Wiggins stripped from behind by Causey, and here comes Reed. It's a 1-on-2. Doesn't matter to him, though. Tipped up by Freeman, and another put back by Owens, and he'll draw the foul on Wiggins.
Greg Esherick, the loquacious attorney, has talked his Hoyas into thinking they are better rebounders. Boy, they're just killing the Scarlet Knights on the glass, and they're getting to the free throw line as a result.
And it will be Owens at the free throw line. 6'6" junior from Assumption High School in Napoleonville, Georgia.
Here's that irony of over 70 from 3 and under 60 from the free throw line. But it's early in the year. That 3-stroke looks so good. Greg Esherick looking for his 100th victory today. Pretty good golfer, too.
Coming up on the 5th anniversary of taking over the reins for John Thompson, which happened in the middle of the season. January 8th will mark the 5-year date. So this is actually Esherick's 5th full season at the helm, and he had that one partial season back in the 98-99 season. Great anticipation by Owens. No wonder they lead the country in steals.
I keep checking my fillings in my rings the way these guys are stealing.
Well, you're ready to go to the airport. You better hang on to your luggage here. They'll take that too.
I don't care about the hubcaps. It's a rent-a-car. Oh, they're quick.
Out of the backcourt is Shields. Georgetown has opened up a 10-point lead, and the MO has been the defense. Shields dribbles into traffic. That didn't work. Held ball, arrow toward Rutgers. 19 left on the shot clock.
Scarlet Knights really struggling to penetrate the defense. Now they're not running anything. They're just kind of looking and waiting for somebody to get to the paint and make a play. Asani, the center, brings the ball up the floor, and that seemed easy enough. But here's a steal. Owens comes from nowhere. You got to come meet the pass against the Hoyas because they will be contested.
Aksani departs for the Scarlet Knights as Webb re-enters. Lamazana to inbound. Looks in the lane, nothing there. Shields, quick trigger from the right. Rebound in traffic to Kilkenny Jow.
Boy, the bench is impressive for the Hoyas. They just keep putting guys in and they play.
Reed penetrates, gets it back, finds Causey on the left. Down low, and a foul from behind will be called on Lamazana. That will be his first, and number 4 on the Scarlet Knights.
Not enough pressure on the ball for the Scarlet Knights. The look into the post is too easy. Most of the time when the post is being fed, people want to say, well, the postman's not defending well. Most of the time, it's a direct correlation with the amount of pressure on the ball and the entry pass to the post.
Cook to Riley, who checks back in. Remember, he left early with 2 fouls. Here's the length of the floor pass, and Webb tried to save and did. He knocked it off the foot of Reed. Now, wait a minute. John Cal comes over to Andre Patillo, and he says, nope, I got a good view of it, and it goes the other way.
That's good officiating, Bob. Yep, that's good officiating. Gary Waters recognizes that. Look, that was a Wes Unseld outlet pass. They almost threw it into Virginia.
Webb collided hard with the table on the end line. Went into it hip first. Cook takes the jumper over Quincy Douby, rather. First 2 points for Cook. And Georgetown has opened up a 12-point lead with 7.5 minutes gone.
He'll take some tough shots, but the follow-through on that was superb.
Pass nearly thrown into the Georgetown bench, and as Shields tries to penetrate, he'll draw the foul.
Well, here comes. I remember we used to refer to Georgetown as a long gray line, perpetual substitutions, pressure defense. That hasn't changed. They're just smaller and quicker.
But Riley picks up his 3rd foul and departs. It's 5 team fouls in the Hoyas, so we won't see Riley, I imagine, until the start of the second half.
Well, if you stay with your pressure defense, it's pretty hard to hide a guy.
Shields managed to tightrope the sideline before taking that high pass out of bounds with him.
Off the inbounds, the Hoyas go 2-3 zone, but it's quick.
Lamazana in the lane, and his outlet pass is stolen away by Ashanti Cook. Feeds the cutter in the lane, Bowman, and he uses the glass. It's It's a 14-point Georgetown lead, and Gary Waters is very upset at his Scarlet Knights, and he calls his second timeout. Georgetown just beating Rutgers up the floor that time.
What he's saying, guys, you don't have to be a great player to play transition defense. It's just being out hustled. Again, the big men running the floor. Everybody runs the floor for the Hoyas. Bowman in traffic. Oh, man. Chiropractors love it when us retirees try to make moves like that. They really have their ears pinned back. This home court crowd, Bob, is not what it could be or should be. The home team has won the last 5 games in this series, but as you pointed out, with the students away, it's it's pretty much an adult group, and so the Hoyas are generating, along with the Eastern High School band, their own excitement.
And they're doing without much contribution from Riley because of his foul trouble. He has 2 points. Only 6 turnovers for the Rutgers. That's a deceiving stat. Watching this game, it looks like it's more like 26.
Yeah, but there's so many shots that have been made under duress.
Like that one, but Douby hitting the jumper on the run. First 2 points for the freshman out of Brady High School in Brooklyn, and at the other end, Freeman answers. Georgetown by 14, 8.5 minutes gone. Webb, reach-in foul will be called on Reed. That's his first, and number 6 on the Hoyas. Now one more and Rutgers will go to the line, and that's a good deal for the Scarlet Knights. They are an outstanding free throw shooting team, but they have some work to do. Down 14. Well, it's been a very happy new year. The first 8.5 minutes for the Hoyas, out to a 14-point lead. Among those in the house at the MCI Arena, John Thompson, Hall of Famer, won 596 games in 27 years here. And these are some of his former players who have gone into the profession.
Boy, the Thompson tree has been formidable, and a bunch of them are right on that bench right now. Craig Esherick, who was with him, I think, 17 years as an assistant, and Mike Riley, and of course they have 2 new assistants this year. We'll talk about a little bit later, Chuck Frizzell and Jaron Jackson.
Jackson, a former Hoya player. Riley and Esherick were teammates at Georgetown. Douby misses the 3, rebound in the lane, and last touch by Georgetown. There's Craig Esherick, who played on 2 NCAA tournament teams and 1 NIT team during his undergraduate days here at Georgetown. Also has a degree from the Georgetown Law School. There's the jumper by Douby. Had a couple of 60-point games 2 seasons ago at Grady High School in Brooklyn.
Big East Rookie of the Week earlier in December.
Cook defended by Douby. 10.5 minutes gone first half. Georgetown by a dozen. Bowman, right side open. Now Bowman goes by Joins and will draw the foul on Joins, his first, and number 5 in the Scarlet Knights.
Byron Joins not real comfortable out there on the perimeter defending. What a mountain of a man he is. 280 pounds, 6'9", Bob. Freshman, where he grows up. And he's a neighborhood kid from Baltimore.
Now also spent a year at Oak Hill Academy, mouth of Wilson, Georgia. Cook missing badly on the 3. And here's Douby, who's really energized the Scarlet Knights in TN.
Gary Waters got to be thinking about the fact they only scored 13 points in the first half out at UTEP in El Paso.
Yeah, they were 5 for 30 from the floor. They trailed 16-0. Talk about picking someone's pocket. How about Brandon Bowman?
I expect to see his picture in a post office. He's incredible.
7 points for Bowman. On the left, Shields lost the handle as he went up. A great hustle by Causey as he leaps over the first row, and then like Superman comes in bounds to get the pass. Left side 3, Owens. Rebound Axani. Up the floor, directly in front of us is Cook. And we go the other way. Inside Freeman.
That'll make the highlight show.
The floor looks like it's tilted.
By the way, I saw you try to get that. You were open, but you can't be that anxious, Bob.
Just protecting the Diet Coke, Bucky. 16-point lead. 9 minutes to go, first half. It's been all Georgetown, and we'll get a foul away from the ball on the screen.
Right now, Scarlet Knights imploding, and this must have been very similar. Talking to Gary Waters about that first half against Texas El Paso, he said, you know, they just got after us, and we missed, and they hit, and we just disappeared. They actually outscored them in the second half, but it was 35-point difference at the half. Couldn't dig out.
Foul on Shields, his first 6 on Rutgers. Cook finds the cutter Owens. Back outside to Cook. Ball fake, jump shot, over Joins. Tipped up once by Freeman and knocked out of bounds by Rutgers.
Joins is somehow always at the top of the key or on the perimeter when that ball goes on the glass, and he's having a hard time getting there. This offense by the Hoyas is well conceived. They're leaving the rebounding to their athletes, pulling the big men off the board. When you shoot a lot of threes, a lot of times that ball will bounce out.
And Bowman hits the shot, hits it 2. His foot was on the line. So 9 points in the early going for sophomore Brandon Bowman. 18-point Georgetown lead. The Hoyas have completely taken Lamazan out of the game. In fact, Gary Waters has literally taken Lamazan out of the game.
Waters has gone 9 deep on his bench so far and hasn't been able to find a combination.
Lamazan, no points and 1 rebound in the early going. Using the glass for a couple is Calvin Wooten, who's just back in the lineup after missing 7 games with a knee injury, only his 3rd game back. Freeman comes back, misses the shot, rebound, last touch by Rutgers. Sounds like a broken record. Official timeout, 7:59 remaining in the first half. At 9-0, it's Georgetown's best start since a 16-0 beginning 3 years ago. And the Hoyas have done everything at the defensive end. They lead it by 16. It's a 16-point Georgetown lead over Rutgers. It's time now for the Pontiac Top Performance of the Week. It goes to UConn's Ben Gordon. Tuesday night against Massachusetts. 34 points, 12 of 18 from the floor, and 7 of 8 from behind the arc as the Huskies rolled 91-67. That would be the #1 ranked UConn Huskies. And it doesn't get any easier from here, Bucky, for Rutgers. Next up, UConn comes to town to the rack on Tuesday night.
Gary Waters got to find some combination to score because, yeah, I know Hoyas are tough on defense. So are the Huskies.
Cook misses the 3, but the long rebound comes back to the Hoyas. Causey, right side, Bowman.
Great movement by Georgetown.
Pass inside to Freeman. He's doubled, goes right around, joins, misses the tough shot, but keeps the rebound alive himself, then falls to the floor and is called for the travel.
Rutgers completely out-hustled. The ball's moving faster, the men are moving faster, and right now the Hoyas dominating the glass. This is 2 bad first halves back-to-back. There's still plenty of time. You know, it's 16 points over 26 minutes is very doable, but right now they're sleepwalking, are the Scarlet Knights.
Hoyas have only turned it over 2 times, adding to that conference best turnover ratio. Lamazan is back in, but he's been completely shut down, Bucky.
Well, this is a new wrinkle. Gary Waters trying to take the big men in the backcourt to take the pressure off.
And Wooten buries the 3. He had 11 points last Sunday in the loss to UTEP. That was only his 2nd game back from knee injury.
He did it in 12 minutes too, Bob. I mean, they have high hopes for him, really giving them some offense.
Comes from the same high school as Gary Waters, Mackenzie High in Detroit. Freeman misses the shot in the lane, and here comes Webb the other way. It's a small lineup on the floor now for Rutgers, with Wooten, Douby, and Webb at the guards. Lamazan and Hill up front. Lamazan feeds Hill inside.
First time that Rutgers has really been patient, handled the pressure, swung the ball, and found room in the paint.
6 points for Hill. Timeout for Craig Esherick. Gary Waters told me we must attack the boards better and get to the foul line. We have good free throw shooters. We're not taking advantage of them. And Hill has 6 points inside, and Rutgers has only one free throw attempt, Bucky, in the first 13.5 minutes.
Nice little 5-0 run by the Scarlet Knights. They can't get back in this thing quickly. They got to take it one possession at a time. They need some stops. They got to eliminate Georgetown's second shots and stop turning the balls over.
And it'd be nice to get to the free throw line if you're Rutgers, Bucky, because they've done a great job in recent games.
You want to hear a great incentive? I said, how'd you turn that around? Most people get shrinks and hypnotists or whatever.
They
He said,
stopped
I told them if we don't shoot 75%, they're in the gym at 6 o'clock the next morning. That sounds like something that John Chaney would do.
Well, that'd be sleeping in for John Chaney. 6 days. Causey the inside to Darrell Owens. 11 points already for Owens. His 8th double-figure scoring effort of the season.
He did that along the back line with the lob and the alley-oop against his zone.
Webb penetrates. Great agility. 4 points for Webb.
2-3 zone again by the Scarlet Knights. I'm not sure what they're hoping to achieve there.
Causey feeds inside to Bowman. Causey's been terrific off the bench.
It's just shredding it.
11 points for Bowman, his 8th double-figure scoring effort. Causey with assists on the last 2 Georgetown possessions. Douby with a wild shot high off the glass.
Wooten and Douby have really been a great spark off the bench.
Bowman looked like he wanted the 3 and then looked for the cutter inside Freeman, but he couldn't handle the pass.
Freeman thought he wanted the 3-2. He was looking for another offensive board.
Turnover number 3 for the Hoyas. This is their first game following an 11-day layoff for final exam. They'll be right back at it Tuesday night here at the MCI Center against Boston College. Lamazana on the right wants to go at Bowman. Instead, kicks out to Wooten. Wooten beats Causey off the dribble.
Boy, those runners are sweet. Penetrates, gets one step in the lane, pulls up, shades of Bob Cousy for those of you who are old enough.
Wooten already with 7 points off the bench. The Georgetown lead was 16. It's down to 9. Cook penetrates and hits the runner.
The Hoyas still taking the ball at will, off the dribble, off the pass, right into the paint.
Douby to Lamazana. 4.5 minutes remaining first half, an 11-point Hoyas lead. Inside Hill, knocked away from behind by Bowman. Here comes Causey.
Causey doing a nice job replacing Gerald Riley, who really has spent more time on the pines and on the floor with fouls in the first half.
10 turnovers for the Scarlet Knights. Bowman puts it on the floor, misses the jumper, tipped up once, and then the over-the-back foul on the rebound will be called on Cortland Freeman, and that will send Rutgers to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. First on Freeman, 7 on the team.
Yeah, that's a foul that Craig Esherick is going to be happy to live with at this point in the first half, to have his young, quick jumping center with his first foul and going over the back. That's okay.
So to the line will go Hill. He has attempted Rutgers' only free throws so far. He is only a 57% shooter from the line. Rutgers has 4 players who are averaging 83% or better from the line, but he's not one of them. Hill is 0 for 2. Cook will walk it up the floor at the 4-minute mark. It's the only meeting of the year between these two teams. They split their 2 a year ago, each winning at home. Cook missing the runner. Long rebound to Lamazana, to Douby in the middle. Finds Wooten on the right, already has 7 points. Finally missed the shot. Hill with the offensive rebound. Then it's tipped up and in inside by Webb.
That's what the Hoyas feared. Offensive rebounding against, on paper, a stronger, more physical front line of the Scarlet Knights, but they haven't had a chance to flex their muscles much.
6 points for Webb. The lead down to single digits again at 9. Causey drives, and Lamazana and Douby were both there. Knocked out of bounds by the Scarlet Knights. 13 seconds left on the shot clock for the Hoyas when we return. This is what Georgetown ran out of the last time out. Will they try it again? Well, some of the fans enjoying the work of the Eastern High School Band, filling in for the Georgetown Pep Band today. That youngster certainly is having a great time.
If you have a pulse with this band from Eastern High School, something's going to be moving, whether you got a kid in your arms or not. They got more moves than Allied bands, that group. I love them. I can't remember the Hoyas band, but these guys are good.
It will be Georgetown ball. 13 left in the shot clock beneath the Hoyas basket. Cook to do the honors. And he threw it inbounds, and it went off the back of a Rutgers player. And that's turnover number 4 for the Hoyas. So they've taken very good care of the ball. Rutgers has done a good job to climb back into this when they trailed by 16. Wooten's been a big part of that comeback. Defended by Reed. Left side Webb. He's guarded by Cook. Lamazana sets the screen, takes the return pass, and is blocked from behind by Bowman.
Boy, he's blocking from the front, from the back. Very impressive.
It's been a nightmare first half for Hervé Lamazana. No points, 1 rebound, 0 for 4 from the floor. Does have 3 assists. Remember, Lamazana's been terrific, averaging a double-double in his last 3. Driving is Bowman with the up and under move, and no one checked out Freeman.
Rutgers caught standing again. No weak side help.
Freeman with 8 points. The Hoyas have had very balanced scoring. Ball deflected into the Hoyas bench with 21 left in the shot clock.
I think here's the play. Just dribble right by. Almost nobody helping, nobody checking off the shooter. But when you get penetration, when you break down with the dribble and defenses have to help, that's the kind of offensive rebounding it creates.
Wooten has 7 points off the bench. Setting the screen is Hill. Lamazana pops out. Shot clock inside 10. It's a 3. This is bad.
Off the out of bounds again. The Hoyas go zone, and somehow the Scarlet Knights not picking up on that.
Walking it up the floor is Cook. Georgetown, the runner-up in the NIT a year ago, lost to their Big East brethren St. John's in the finals.
What a year for the Big East, huh? National champion, NIT champion, women's champion.
Bowman starts to drive, and the blocking foul will be called on Adrian Hill. That is his 2nd and 7 on the Scarlet Knights. And the Hoyas' run to the NIT last year was, well, across all demographics, Bucky. They beat every conference.
Well, they did, and they did it on the road at Tennessee in the SEC, at Providence, at North Carolina in the ACC, and then Minnesota, and that was in the semis in New York. But they did not play a home game in that run, and that really lifted this program. And of course, Mike Sweetney left early. That was a problem, and he is somewhere in New York. Maybe with Isaiah Thomas at the helm, he'll be traded. He'll get an opportunity, but like most rookies, not having much of an impact.
Bowman hits the first free throw coming up at halftime. Bucky and I will check out the Big East wire and look at the terrific guards in the conference. It's a very busy day in college basketball around the league in the conference. We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard and have first half highlights from this one. Rebounding the missed free throw is Lamazana with a minute and a half remaining in the half and a 12-point Hoyas lead.
Craig Esherick has got to be a little concerned with as well as they have played and as poorly, I think, as Rutgers has played. They really haven't put them away. We got it right. They're coming back.
Lamazana finally gets his first field goal of the afternoon.
His counterpart, Gary Waters, has got to say, hey, our star player has been a no-show, and we haven't done anything right, and we're there. We're around a 10-point deficit.
Of course, Riley has missed almost the entire half for Georgetown because of foul trouble. Kilkenny Jow's pass is nearly stolen. Reed gets it back. Shot clock is at 10. Reed with a wild shot. Boy, he left his feet with nowhere to go. 45 seconds remaining in the half. Rutgers with a chance to cut it to 8 or 7 with a 3. Wooten's doubled. And he foolishly passes into the lane, but then does a great job of stepping back and intercepting the pass. And now the shot clock is off. That's the time remaining in the half.
Chance to take it to single digits does Rutgers have, and that would be a huge lift for a team that hadn't had much to cheer about today.
Bowman gives Wooten all the room he wants. Axani has a screen set up high in case he wants to go that way, and he does. He's doubled off the screen. Lamazana has the open three, tried to draw the contact, and the foul didn't work. Instead, it bounces out of bounds, goes to Georgetown with 0.9 seconds remaining.
Boy, you don't see that often. 6'10" guy out past in the bonus sphere trying to draw a foul. He looked like an epileptic fit. He had a wide open look. A wide open look. He wanted a 4-point play. He wanted 4.
It's been a long first half for Hervé Lamazana. Joel Williams comes in for defensive purposes on this last possession. Owens finds Riley. Riley dribbled the ball and as a result didn't get the shot off. Georgetown using its defense to jump in front by as many as 18 points early. Craig Eschrich's club saw that lead cut to 9, and right now it is a 10-point lead halfway home. Georgetown trying to get off to a 10-0 start for the first time in 3 years, taking advantage of outstanding defensive pressure and a couple of double-figure scoring performances in the first half from Darrell Owens and Brandon Bowman. It's 38-28 Georgetown over Rutgers at the half. Gary Waters' Scarlet Knights had won 5 straight before losing last time out to UTEP, trailing by 10 at the half. A look at Hervé Lamazana. Bucky, who was red hot entering the game but has done absolutely nothing today.
Well, you got to credit the Hoya defense, and it was really a committee that did it. Several people guarded him, but basically Rutgers really didn't attack. They just met the rush of the Hoya press. It was like a wind tunnel, and they yielded.
Bowman tries to squeeze it inside. Hill took it away, and here comes Rutgers. Riley begins the second half. He had 3 fouls, played only 5 minutes, scored only 2 points in the first half.
And still the Hoyas, without their leader, were able to establish a 10-point lead.
Wild shot by Douby, no good. Douby getting the start in the second half, and here comes Riley the other way. Bowman on the right, and Cook will reset the offense.
Great man for the Scarlet Knights. I think they'd like to do a little pressing, but they have not had any sustained scoring to be able to set it up.
Bowman back outside to Riley, who's defended by Webb. Tries to go by him, and as he does, will draw the foul. It will be number 2 on Webb and first team foul on Rutgers here in the second half.
Starting out like they did in the first half, breaking down the Scarlet Knight off the dribble.
Scarlet Knights 1-2 on the road this year, losing at Wisconsin and then the loss to UTEP in the final of the UTEP tournament. Inside, pretty feed to Bowman.
Boy, is he smooth. Averaging 16 points, 6 boards a game. Just one smooth operator, and he plays everywhere.
Has 14 points this afternoon. Ricky Shields has also been quiet. Shoots in Cook's face, and on the rebound, Freeman and Bowman combined to save it along the baseline, although the Rutgers bench didn't think so. The Scarlet Knights take it from behind. Here's a 4-on-2 in the lane, Lamazana, and he's fouled by Freeman.
Woo. Return to sender. Good thing he had his mouth shut. He would have swallowed that. I think all the Rutgers fans, probably Coach Gary Waters as well, would like to have him. A little more assertive.
Second foul on Freeman, and Lamazana goes to the line, and he has made his last 16 free throw attempts.
After just a horrendous start, I don't have the stat, but it was awful. And he's been a
24 of his last 25 now. Gary Waters, 5 years the coach at Kent State before coming to Rutgers. Talk about a patient man, Bucky. He was an assistant coach for 22 years before he finally got his first head coaching opportunity.
Well, he's clearly making a path there at Rutgers, and he has recruited well. Very excited about the guys coming in and the strength that he's got as young players this year. It really looks like they're going upstage.
Shields goes way up for the rebound. Scarlet Knights signed 3 players in the early signing period. Georgetown signed 4. Down low, Hill wants to go at Freeman, who blocks the shot and then deflects the loose ball to Bowman.
Rutgers, no fast break points in the first half. None. Nada. They outscored in the paint by 6. Outscored turnovers by 11. They was dominant on the defense.
Riley with his team-leading 16 three-pointer. He's a 43% shooter from behind the arc.
Good as he is, Bob, it's hard to do that sitting down, in which he did most of the first half.
5 points for Riley. Played just 5 minutes in the first half. Douby to Lamazana, defended by Bowman. Webb spins on Cook, tried to feed it inside, knocked away, and Riley comes away with it. Up the right side, Bowman runs the floor, and he's fouled by Lamazana. That will be his second and 2 on Rutgers this half.
Cortland Freeman, Brandon Bowman, the major front court players for Georgetown all run the floor. Nice pass by Riley right in the letters. Lamazana had to come back and create the foul. Just slow getting back.
Well, Georgetown, as we mentioned, is 9-0. Bowman is used to being on a winning team. He and his fellow Hoyas sophomore Ashanti Cook were on a team that went 32-0 at Westchester High School in Southern California, and they were ranked #1 in the country in the USA Today poll.
And some of that success, I'm sure, helped to attract Ray Reed from Inglewood, who is a freshman. So the pipeline for the Hoyas goes coast to coast.
In the backcourt, Cook knocks it away, and Rutgers will inbound again. Craig Esherick took the Hoyas to the Sweet 16 in 2001. They've been to 3 NITs and 1 NCAA tournament in his first 5 seasons at the helm. Webb dragged the pivot foot, turnover number 13 for Rutgers.
Gary Waters trying to figure out how to break that press, and it's not going to be getting closer to the baseline. That time they showed man for man, did the Hoyas, and then a quick double team.
Riley hit his last 3, can't get this one to fall. Rebound pulled down by Douby. 14-point lead for Georgetown. It was 10 at the half, and a blocking foul on Cook. That will be his second and 2 on Georgetown here in the second half.
Almost no visible patterns by Scarlet Knight. I think the pressure of Georgetown just kind of froze them, and now they're resorting to very quick guards, penetrating, which is always a good option.
Shields inbounds to Douby. He's quickly doubled. Finds the open man Webb. Hoyas go zone off the Rutgers inbound beneath the Rutgers basket. Lamazana in the lane, a little bit too hard. Rebound Bowman. Up the floor quickly, it's Owens for 3. Rebound on a hop comes to Shields. 2-on-2 Rutgers break. Shields in the lane and an offensive foul. Number 2 on Shields and 3 on Rutgers this half.
Nice job that time by Ashanti Cook. He was back there. He was outnumbered and just held his ground. Very poor judgment. Not good decisions by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in transition.
And Shields will depart, replaced by Wooten, who had that 7-point effort off the bench in the first half. Shields 3 points, 1 of 7 shooting so far today. Shields at 15 per game is the Scarlet Knights leading scorer. So what a job Georgetown has done on Rutgers' 2 leading scorers, Shields and Lamazana. In the lane, Bowman misses the shot. Rebound pulled down by Lamazana, who runs the break at 6'10 himself. And Webb finishes.
That's the first fast break basket today for Rutgers.
8 for Webb. Riley's shot is blocked by Lamazana. He's 5th in Rutgers history in that category.
Return to sender.
Left side for 3. And Rutgers has pulled within 9 for the 3rd time since falling down by 18 early. And Craig Esherick wants to talk it over with 15:53 to go in the half. So Rutgers off to a 7-2 start. Its best in 6 years. Down 18 early. Down by 10 at the half. Has pulled within 9. As Craig Esherick goes to the timeout. Wooten with 10 points off the bench. Back in Washington, where Rutgers has pulled within 9 following the Georgetown timeout. Next whistle will bring the first official timeout of the second half. So let's see if Georgetown can make something happen.
Scarlet Knights now showing their version of the press. They've been the victim. Let's see if they can be the perpetrator. That's good language for the lawyer coach, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell you're from Camden, New Jersey. All right.
Well, I got a summer home in Newark.
Hey, we're both Jersey guys, so we can make fun of one another. Cook drives and penetrates inside to Freeman. 10 points for Freeman, who becomes the 3rd Hoya to hit double figures today. His 4th double-figure scoring effort of the season.
Just great dribble penetration by Georgetown. Under control, getting into the paint, making plays based on what the defense gives him.
Douby, defended by Riley. That was an ankle breaker move. He takes the 2. 6 points for Douby, who once went 18 for 21 from 3-point range in a high school game.
Well, that was a smooth move there, Bob.
Not sure I could do that on the layup line without anyone guarding.
Yeah, maybe somewhere 64.
And on the drive, Bowman draws the hand check foul on Lamazana. His 3rd. 4 on Rutgers this half. And that will bring us to a timeout. 14:47 remaining in the ball game. The Georgetown lead is up to 9. Big effort for Freeman. He's got 10 points. Douby has helped off the Rutgers bench as well. Georgetown by 9. Off to a 9-0 start. Has yet to play a team ranked in the top 25. Craig Esherick told me we take into consideration when we were doing our non-conference schedule how much experience we have. I'm also always concerned about scheduling games around final exams. As Riley hits the jumper from the baseline, but Georgetown's wins over Grambling, Penn State, Coastal Carolina, Delaware State, Norfolk State, Davidson, Elon, Howard, and Citadel. And you could certainly use the word soft to describe it, Bucky, and there's a reason why the Hoyas are 9-0 and not nationally ranked, and that reason's the schedule. Cook goes the other way. Axani with the rebound, and the foul will be called on Freeman. Number 3 on Freeman and number 3 on the Hoyas this half.
Well, between Sweetney going pro early and 5 other players, there's the breakaway. Axani, Cook. Oh, we got blocked. Wow. Our cameraman, it did survive.
Got his tetanus shot before the game. It's mandatory.
Yes, on that baseline. They're brave people. Those are big guys coming down there, sometimes out of control.
And Cook picked Axani's pocket, but Axani hung in there and took it right back. He finds Webb left sideline. Douby to Wooten on the right. Deep 3. Rebound Hill. Rutgers within 9 again. 8 points for Adrian Hill. He's only averaging 5 per game. Cook. Bowman sets the high pick and he goes around it.
Interesting, Asani not helping at all when Bowman picks, and that's why.
And Bowman hits the 3 over Axani.
Normally that the defender on that ball screen on the high post will hedge out a little bit and force the dribbler out. He did not take his eyes or hands off Bowman, and Bowman still scored.
He's got 18. Owens with the rebound. 3-on-2 Georgetown break if they hurry. Owens to the trailer. Kilkenny Jow. He juggled the pass and is called for steps.
But again, Gary Waters, when he sees this film, is not going to be happy with his defensive transition. His team's just not getting back, and it's the Hoya big people who are beating him down the floor. Interesting stat here. Rutgers outscoring from the bench, outscoring the Hoyas 16-1. That's amazing. But that's all coming from Douby and Wooten for the most part.
Yeah, Wooten's got 10 of those 16 points, and now Douby will get a rest. He's got 6. In fact, it's come completely from those 2.
Well, I didn't have that much detail in the numbers.
Inbound pass deflected out of bounds. They'll do it again. Axani to do the honors. Axani sat out his freshman year with a broken foot. So this is his 5th year at Rutgers and his final year of eligibility. Blue-collar guy. Has trouble finding the open man, but he does find Shields. Shields circles the wagon and resets the offense. Guarded by Gerald Riley. Aksani sets the screen. Shields shoots from nearly the metro stop.
Somebody must have opened a window, because there was a wind there.
Wow.
Major college scholarship player. That's absurd. Well, you got to get a hernia just trying to get it up from there. Not very well disciplined right there, and they've been settling down and carving away. Not called for.
Shields just 1 of 8 from the floor. Owens with Aksani's hand in his face. Rebound in the lane, pulled down by Shields.
Rutgers now no longer trying to run uphill. It's a level playing field as far as tempo and control of the boards. They've got to score. They've got to take better shots than they've been taking as well.
They just have not been able to get inside that 9-point differential after falling behind by as many as 18. Aksani hands to Wooten. Wooten gets a couple of screens along his way to the hoop.
Weak side help that time, non-existent. Ray Reed just punched his ticket.
Season high 12 points for Wooten, coming off an 11-point effort in the loss to UTEP last Sunday. Cook with the open 3. Long rebound on a hop is pulled down by Shields.
These rims are going to last forever. The shots are hitting air, glass, or net.
Riley defending Webb. Right side Wooten. Ray Reed enters the game, and he'll get a crack at stopping Wooten, who has been tremendous off the bench. Shoots right in Reed's face. How did that not stay in? Rebound foul will be called on the Hoyas.
Boy, Calvin Wooten is absolutely fearless. The freshman from Detroit. He does not know when he's guarded and when he isn't. He just knows he can score.
The foul on Amadou Kilkenny-Jow, his first, and 4 on Georgetown this half. It was a 10-point lead at the half, and it's still a 10-point lead. It's a 10-point Georgetown lead over Rutgers. Let's take a look at the BMW ultimate drive of the game, and Ashanti Cook with the steal and dish.
And a 2.5 to 1 assist ratio, and again he feeds Cortland Freeman, another example of the big men from the Hoyas beating Rutgers down the floor. Nice control. Cook just under control, not in a big hurry, took what the defense gave him. Very smooth in transition have the Hoyas been today.
Freeman, 1 of 3 Hoyas in double figures. He has 10. Rutgers with the ball and pull closer than they've been since falling behind by 18 if they convert here. Aksani misses the dunk. Can't get a better look than that.
The Hoyas went 2-3 zone, and Aksani went right down the pipe. That is a high percentage shot.
Freeman to Riley, sets up Bowman baseline. Rebound up in the air goes Ricky Shields. Finds Douby, goes around Causey, and this is the closest Rutgers has been since falling behind by 18 with 8 minutes to go in the first half. We near the midway point of the second half, and the holding foul will be called on the perimeter on Douby, his first, and number 5 on the Scarlet Knights here in the second half.
That's a freshman foul. Getting anxious, want to get out and run, and just grabbing hold of somebody out in front. There's the quickness. Quincy Douby sounds like a law firm, but boy, he can fly. 85% free throw shooter. He's shooting 37 from the floor and 39 from 3.
Freeman inside will draw the foul. This one will be called on Byron Joins, his second, and 6 on Rutgers. And to the line will go Freeman, the senior from Sakaste High School in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Leads the team in blocked shots with 15.
They just played in Myrtle Beach. Actually, they played the Citadel down there, and he's a South Carolina native. And Cortland Freeman went for 7 points and 7 boards in that one.
Season high 7 rebounds in that one. Hoy is averaging 13 more free throw attempts per game than their opponents. That certainly added to that total today. Rutgers has gone to the line only 4 times. Georgetown 8. Causey up high to Bowman, gets by Shields. Joins tried to draw the blocking foul, didn't get it. So Rutgers down 9 with the ball.
A demolition derby, no call.
Webb defended by Owens. Axani sets the pick. Webb inside to Joins, misses the layup, gets his own rebound, has the shot blocked, last touch by Reed. So it will still belong to Rutgers. Still 32 left in the shot clock because that first field goal attempt did hit the rim.
Good power move, just can't finish. The Hoyas they're all over. It's like a picket fence when you're trying to go through there. Those white jerseys, except they move and they're quick jumpers.
Inbound quickly, Douby catch and shoot. In and out. And the rebound lost inside. And quickly, Jim Haney steps in to separate the 2 teams before anything gets started. Good officiating there. Officials are always on the lookout for a little scuffle between the 2 teams, and they really do a great job of heading things off.
It's a good crew. It's a very good crew today. You're wondering why the Scarlet Knights are struggling a little bit? Well, that man, Craig Esherick, has done a superb job with the 2 star players offensively for Rutgers. Shields in 20 minutes is 1 for 8 from the floor. Lamazana in 21 minutes is 1 for 10. And you can't have your star billing sputtering like that and expect to win on the road in the Big East.
Foul on Joins, his 3rd 7 on the team. So Georgetown now in the bonus, and Freeman will shoot the 1-and-1. He's 3 of 4 from the line today. Axani pulls down the rebound. Boy, if Rutgers could ever get to the foul line down the stretch, they'd really have a chance to cut that deficit, since the Scarlet Knights are such a good free throw shooting team. Neither team doing a very good job shooting from the floor here in the second half. That's foul number 4 on Gerald Riley. So Craig Esherick will have to get him out. 5 team fouls on Georgetown this half. And Riley, who played only 5 minutes in the first half, will take that familiar seat, familiar today at least, on the bench. Inbound to Webb.
Cortland Freeman, number 2, the center for Georgetown. It's like Freeman's daycare center. He's out there with freshmen and sophomores trying to protect a 9-point lead.
Missing the left side 3 is Douby. He's getting a little frustrated. He got a real good look at the last 2. Good form, and it just wouldn't stay down.
You get the feeling that Rutgers is knocking and knocking. Those 3s aren't going down, but they've leveled off all of the other advantages.
Cook misses the 3. Axani runs down the rebound in the corner. Douby sets the offense. Defended by Reed in a battle of freshmen. Webb pops out. He's guarded by Owens. Inside Axani. Great anticipation by Bowman, but it was knocked away. And here comes Rutgers the other way. Shields to Wooten. Calvin Wooten has been sensational off the bench for the Scarlet Knights.
He put a Heisman Trophy straight arm on him and kissed it off the glass.
So Wooten with 12 points off the bench. Has 23 in his last 2. This is the closest Rutgers has been now at 7. Freeman inside, and it's rejected by Hill. So the Scarlet Knights, who trailed by 18, have a chance to cut it to 5 or 4 on this possession.
And it's been a couple of young guards that have been the spark.
The crowd trying to give the Georgetown defense some inspiration. Axani inside, and it is a 5-point lead. So Rutgers getting very little point production out of their 2 leading scorers, Lamazana and Shields, getting a big contribution off the bench from Wooten and Douby, and they've cut the lead to 5.
It's been an interesting contrast to 2 halves. Hoyas just came out smoking, blowing by everybody. Now that the game is more in a half court, the strength that Rutgers alluded to being in the front court. There's inside Asani, the captain of the team, is just doesn't have many touches, but Asani made that strong move. He had to pass the time before, didn't come to meet it. But the senior learned his lesson that time, met the pass, found the defense, put a good move on. And now he's lecturing Jim Haney. That's good. Coats off. Gary Waters, all business.
6-1 Rutgers run to cut this lead to 5. Cook, defended by Shields, shoots right over. I don't think that's what Craig Edwards wanted in that huddle during the timeout.
Let's see. Marquis Webb, the freshman, in the backcourt now, and he runs the show most of the time for Rutgers.
Aksani puts it on the floor, goes by Bowman, who blocks it from behind. Rutgers does a good job of getting back to cut off the transition opportunity.
Ooh, that was a snuff.
Owens, wide open three.
Rutgers not sure what defense they were in that time. Those are the mental errors that kill you. Scarlet Knights had a lot of momentum, but boy, that put juice back in the Hoyas.
Owens with 14 following his second three of the afternoon. Second leading three-point shooter percentage-wise in the country. Webb, defended by Cook. Inside Aksani. Shot clock is down to 7. And the weak side help from Reed results in the steal and a 2-on-1 break. And Reed will draw the blocking foul on the Scarlet Knights. I think Reed got bailed out on that one, Bucky.
Yeah, I think so. John Cale right on the play. He's a great official. That could have gone either way. And the block charge is always going to be controversial.
Third on Webb, 8 on the team. But
what a great block. Aksani snuffed that time to start that transition. Brandon Bowman just being multi-dimensional today. He has shown us every facet of the game with class.
18 points, 8 rebounds for Bowman on 7 of 14 shooting. To the line will go Reed, and he has struggled from the line this year. Only a 55% shooter. Missed his only attempt so far today.
He has a tendency to over-penetrate, over-commit, and as you pointed out, I think he escaped that time.
Reed has seemed out of control at times, leaving his feet without a real good idea of what he wants to do with the ball.
Freshmen tend to do that, and guys with blazing speed, and he has both.
Chance to return the lead to 10, and he does. That will bring us to a timeout with 6:40 remaining in the first half. Craig Etheridge's club trying to extend the season opening winning streak to 10. Let up. A 5-0 Georgetown lead has increased the lead to 10. Time now for the Cooper Tires Defensive Player of the Game. We're giving it to Brandon Bowman.
Not only has he scored 18 points, there have been 7 blocks by the Hoyas, 3 of them by Bowman. The 6'8" sophomore from Santa Monica can play both ends of the floor.
Also has 8 rebounds. Part of that Georgetown pressure defense that has forced 17 Rutgers turnovers. The Hoyas have outscored Rutgers off turnovers 18-9. Lamazana.
He's well rested, I'll say that, Bob.
Hands to Wooten. Lamazana sets the high screen and gets the pass. Inside Hill. And he is fouled by Kilkenny Jow. That is his second and number 6 on the Hoyas. So this will be a 2-shot situation since he was in the act of shooting, and that means 1 more, and Rutgers will be in the bonus.
Normally, I think Lamazana would have taken that shot. I think his confidence a little shaken today. He made the pass into Adrian Hill, and of course Hill was contested.
So to the free throw line will go Hill, 6'8" sophomore from McKinley High School in Canton, Ohio. first one down. Cortland Freeman will return for the Hoyas. And he'll replace Kilkenny Jow.
We mentioned how important free throws are to Rutgers. They need one more. The Hoyas need to commit one more for them to get into the 1-and-1. They've come so close without any free throw help that each time the Hoyas have responded and beaten them back.
So Hill now with 10 points. He's in double figures for only the second time this year.
Ramazana's long on the ball.
Andre Patillo notices a wet spot on the floor. Rectifies that situation. Rutgers will press full court. Down by 8 with 6:24 to go. Georgetown adding to what has been a theme this year. Hoyas with 13 more free throw attempts per game than their opponents this year. And 11 more today. On the right, Riley back in with 4 fouls. Backs in on Webb and shoots over. Misses everything. A rebound on a hop to Wooten.
The marquee players coming into this game offensively have shown little judgment at crucial times, forcing shots. Trying to stuff that stat sheet.
Lamazana defended by Bowman. Outside to Webb. He's guarded by Riley. Goes around the Lamazana screen and goes right by Riley. Looked a little bit sheepish with the 4 fouls. Rebound to the Scarlet Knights and a fresh 35. Lamazana puts it on the floor. Douby will reset the offense.
That's a tough matchup for Riley with foul problems.
Back out to Wooten.
Douby's a jet.
Around the Lamazana screen. In traffic, and it's blocked by Freeman. Last touch by Georgetown. Are we going to get a foul here? We are going to get a foul on Freeman. And this will put the Scarlet Knights in the bonus. Number 4 on Freeman. And 7 on the team. So 2 of Craig Esherick's starters, Riley and Freeman, with 4 fouls each. And Kilkenny Jow will quickly re-enter for Georgetown to give Freeman a rest. So Hill will go to the free throw line. Just made 2 a moment ago. Rutgers 3rd best in the Big East in free throw shooting. 72% for the season entering this afternoon's game.
It appears when everything else offensively today has really sputtered for Gary Waters. Right now they're just really using quickness. They're penetrating, trying to get to that line, get back in the game with the clock stop, and they've managed to narrow it to 6.
12 points for Hill, 1 shy of his season high as we approach the 5-minute mark. Cook on the left to Owens. Cook signals the play with the left hand. Owens pops out and takes the pass.
Georgetown not really trying to run clock. I think the Rutgers defense is better. Georgetown also not as impressive in the half-court offense as they are when they're running. Whoa.
With the shot clock at 4, Riley hits the tough jump shot from the side.
Had his tonsils checked and he still nailed it.
9 points for Riley. 8-point lead.
Again, Rutgers battles back within 5 or 6, and a 3-point dagger or a 3-point play puts them back.
Douby, right in Bowman's face. 10 points for Douby, who has reached double figures for the 6th time in his freshman season. 6 times in 10 games. And Douby called for the hold as Owens came around the pick. Number 2 on Douby and number 9 on the Scarlet Knights.
That's a couple on Douby where he just couldn't keep his hands off a cutter, a freshman, but he can score.
Well, Douby can certainly get the job done at the other end.
Watch it. Oh, hit the Jets. Just knifes in there. Really takes it to Brandon Bowman, who's already had 3 rejects today, and I don't think we're going to see Bowman on that bench very long. He's been the glue.
Owens at the free throw line where he has struggled, particularly when you consider his proficiency from 3-point range. Maybe he ought to just try backing up. Ask somebody to put his hand in his face on the free throw. Webb calls the timeout before the 5-second call, and he'll get it with 3:57 remaining and a 6-point Georgetown lead.
That's always an energizer for the defense. That's a great call, that 5-second call. And a team that's really built its reputation, and certainly Craig Esherick this year is trying to bring that back for the Hoyas. That's a lift, and they really need that just under 4 minutes, because the momentum has swung to the Scarlet Knights.
And the Scarlet Knights, Bucky, trying to get a jump in Big East Conference play. They have not done well in their conference openers.
Yeah, but Gary Waters is determined to change that. I don't know how many of those he played in friendly rack, because they're very, very tough to beat up there.
And the last win in a conference opener was against Georgetown. That was before Gary Waters came to town, and Kevin Bannon was the head coach. This is Waters' 3rd season after a 5-year run at Kent State. Took Kent State to the NCAA tournament twice and the NIT once in those 5 years.
Yeah, but he had a tough building. He really had to resurrect that program, and like you say, he was an assistant a long time, and he got his chance, and it's paying off. I'm sure the folks in Jersey are happy with him.
Shot clock down to 2. Webb, long three, long rebound, and Webb got a hand on it to deflect it to his teammate Hill. So good hustle by Webb to keep this possession alive. Douby goes around Reed, and the lead is cut to 4. This is the closest Rutgers has been since falling down by 18.
I'm sure Craig Esherick has said, hey, I'd like to see that guy Douby go left once. I know he can go right. He's killing us.
12 points for Douby. Inside Cook finds Kilkenny Jow, but he lost the handle. Here comes Rutgers, 3-on-3, trailing 4. Douby in transition.
Boy, he's got the angle on the board, Bob Picosi. He just, no matter what angle he's coming from on that right side, he manages to get that little kiss off the glass.
So Craig Esherick this time wants a full timeout. Rutgers down by 18 with 8:32 remaining in the first half, has come all the way back to pull within 2. And a big part of the process has been the contribution off the bench of freshman Quincy Douby from Brooklyn.
Back in the 60s, I guess it was, there was a Doobie-Doo, or was that Bing Crosby? I don't know, but this guy is making a comeback, and it's all new. Quincy Douby, the Brooklyn Flash, 6'3", 14 points. More than that, he has taken Scarlet Knights from kind of wandering around out there, trying to figure out what to do against the Hoya pressure, to applauding, and he has penetrated with spades, and he's made some nice passes. Again, I go back. In this timeout, I think Esherick is saying, look, guys, this guy's killing us going right. Get up a half a shoulder. He's too quick to deny. He'll backdoor us. After he makes the catch, seal that catch and shoot, and force him to go left. Anything he gets going left, I'm responsible for.
Between them off the bench, Douby and Wooten have combined for 26 points. And the Rutgers bench has outscored the Georgetown bench, Bucky, 26-3.
We were talking earlier about depth at Georgetown, but at least in the scoring column, it hasn't yielded today.
Georgetown has called back-to-back timeouts here. The next whistle will result in immediate timeout. The 4-minute mark timeout, even though we're all the way down to 2:40. 2-point lead. Riley has returned.
This doesn't look good on Georgetown. You know, going east-west for these guys. Oh, good move.
Bowman spins over Lamazana, tipped up by Cook. Still alive inside Bowman. And a held ball created by the Lamazana block. Arrow toward Rutgers. So when we return with 2:20 remaining, Rutgers will have a chance to pull even. Remember, the Scarlet Knights trailed by 18. Remaining, full 35 of the shot clock, and Georgetown will press full court.
And they're going against the home team Hoyas trump card, the full court press, the one that devastated Rutgers early, but they have neutralized with quickness and young players in the backcourt off the bench.
Rutgers is making this comeback with Ricky Shields on the bench. Riley creates the held ball. Possession arrow toward the Hoyas.
Lamazana in the backcourt although he's a versatile player, did not look very confident, and they did not attack the defense. Just kind of looking around. Good double team. Riley coming from the blind side and didn't foul.
And now Georgetown with the ball in the 2-point lead with 2 minutes to go. Man-to-man defense for Rutgers. Cook defended by Wooten. Goes around the Freeman screen. Left side Owens. Comes back out to Cook. Still 15 left in the shot clock.
Yeah, Hoyas look better when they're going fast. They don't look as good going slow.
Riley misses the 3. Rebound inside. Knocked out of bounds by Cook. Rutgers ball, 1:43 remaining. And the numbers 1 and 2 options, Bucky, throughout this second half comeback have been Wooten and Douby, in whatever order you want to put them in.
Looks like Gary Waters now is going to go to his younger, quicker guys to bring it up. Lamazana bringing the ball in. Oops, giving it back to him. Now the Quicks have it. Let's see if they attack.
Douby defended by Riley with 1.5 minutes remaining. Rutgers down 2. Axani guarded by Freeman. Feeds the post. Lamazana goes in on Bowman and blocks it. A huge defensive play by Brandon Bowman. His 4th block shot of the day and the 8th for Georgetown.
Bowman's just incredible. Just incredible. How you do that without fouling. Lamazana 6'10", coming at you hard.
Wooten nearly forced the turnover, but Cook somehow found Freeman before he fell into the backcourt. Shot clock all the way down to 10, though.
They're just tentative. Georgetown very tentative.
Offensive foul on Cook. Again, a player leaving his feet without knowing what he wanted to do with it.
This is the first time that the Hoyas have really been under pressure under 2 minutes. And they're fighting for their life at home. First game, Big East schedule. Good call. And Georgetown has become tentative.
3rd foul on Cook, 8 on the Hoyas. So the last 3 possessions have resulted in a held ball, a block shot, and an offensive foul. So the lead is still 2. Rutgers pulled it in 2 with 2:56 remaining, and we haven't seen a point scored in the last 2 minutes. Axani will inbound a second time after the first one was deflected. Bowman on him. Gary Waters wants a timeout. 55.2 seconds left. Rutgers ball down 2. If you're Gary Waters in that huddle, Bucky, what do you call for here?
Well, I think first of all, they got to know they have no timeouts left, if I read that right. I looked up when it was 1, and then they called timeout, so we'll verify that. What they want to do is keep attacking. I think Gary recognizes that Georgetown is tentative. I think he has to go with the guys. You know that old Texas saying, you dance with the guy that brung you. And it's been that rookie backcourt of Wooten and Douby who have shown they can penetrate the quickness. Rutgers is out of timeouts. That scoreboard's in error. Oops.
Rutgers has a full left, Bucky, and Georgetown has a 30.
Okay.
Remember, the home team has won the last 5 meetings in this series. A year ago here in Washington, Georgetown won it 76-66. Last February at Rutgers, Scarlet Knights won it by 7. Bowman again will defend Axani at 6'8", will throw the inbound pass. Has trouble finding a target, and there is the last timeout.
Part of the problem against this press, Bob, is Rutgers is running to the baseline. Even if they're able to make that pass, they've given themselves no room to operate, and they're begging for double teams. The key to attacking pressure is spacing, and you got to be bold. You can't be tentative. But right now, the Rutgers attack is they're just running to the baseline. It's almost a handoff, and the defense, anytime you're in close quarters, that's an advantage for the defense. So Rutgers really needs to get bold now and make some crisp passes, come to meet it, and they've become tentative as well. But here we are, early in the Big East season. And for the first time, the Hoyas are in a death grip inside of 2 minutes, and they really haven't been conditioned for that.
Lamazana will re-enter the game for the Scarlet Knights. Let's see if Gary Waters changes things up and has Lamazana instead of Axani try to throw the inbound pass.
Well, they also have their foul priorities, and I'm sure he's looking at it. These are the guys they need to foul if, in fact, they need to stop the clock and send the Hoyas to the line. Reed, Darrell Owens amazingly under 60, but Georgetown shooting 70% as well. It matters who you foul if you really have a choice. Cortland Freeman has not been all that consistent this year.
18 fouls on the Hoyas, so should they foul a Rutgers player not in the act of shooting, it will be a 1-and-1. 9 fouls on Rutgers, so that means every Rutgers foul the rest of the way will result in 2 free throws for the Hoyas.
The foul priority for Georgetown, if they have to foul Rutgers, would be Adrian Hill. You got to know that at the end of the game. And coaches have to know not to have that poor free throw shooter have the ball in their hands.
Axani will once again try to throw the inbound pass with Bowman on it. Now Wooten pops free. Bowman got a hand on the inbound pass. Comes back to Axani, so they've done one of the hard parts. Now they've done the second hard part, getting it across the midcourt line.
And Ramazani's on the bench.
And so is Shields. Webb, Wooten, Hill, Axani, and Douby. 19-second differential, shot clock and game clock. Now with the shot clock inside 10, Rutgers will make its move. Douby, Bowman lost his footing. Right side, jumper by Webb, no good. Caught by Douby, no good. Rebound Georgetown and a foul with 17 seconds left. And since it's the 10th foul on the Scarlet Knights, it will result in 2 free throw attempts instead of the 1-and-1.
Wide open look for the J. A wide open look. Marquis Webb, the freshman, had a great look. But there's a Sonny Cook, only 6'2", coming in on the weak side of the board. Ball hits front of the rim and goes, oh. And there's the tip. Somebody for Georgetown got a hand on it, sent it to the weak side. And Cook, who is a 77% free throw shooter, can ice it.
And he's going to the line for the first time today. Foul on Axani, his first. He'll shoot 2 and he makes the first. Now the lead is 3 and Lamazana returns. Again, remember, if Georgetown makes this second free throw, Rutgers will have to inbound and the Scarlet Knights are out of timeouts.
They still got to go the quickest shot they can get. They don't need 3, they need 2. They got to get down there quick, get a 2 and stop the clock. 3 doesn't help them.
Cook made the first one. 2 pressure free throws for the sophomore from Inglewood, California.
Still a 2-possession game.
Webb, defended by Owens. Right side, Lamazana with Bowman on him. Throws up the 3. No good. Goes over the backboard. Georgetown ball up 4 with 5.7 remaining. Lamazana 1 for 12 from the floor. Bowman to throw the inbound. Comes to Owens. Looks like Rutgers won't even bother fouling. No, they do. Axani will foul Bowman, and he'll go down the other end. So, one thing I learned a long time ago, Bucky, when a team is 9-0, and if you look at their schedule and you say, well, who have they really beat? It doesn't mean you're not a good team. The best you can do is just beat everybody you play.
Absolutely, and Craig Esherick has to say this was a test today. This was the first time where every pass, every shot within 5 minutes meant something. And that's the way you grow a good team. He had confidence coming in with a soft schedule, 9-0. But I tell you, Rutgers, who got off the deck, I mean, it's like they almost TKO'd in the first round and came back and made a heck of a game out of it.
Georgetown went 16-0 3 years ago. John Thompson looking on before losing here. I remember it was on inauguration night. It was in Pittsburgh. Then came right back and beat UNLV in the next game. So this is the best Georgetown start since that 16-0 start 3 years ago. Bowman makes the second free throw, and that'll do it. So Georgetown, led by 18, saw the lead cut to 2, and the Hoyas escape with a 63-57 win over Rutgers in the Big East opener for both teams. And it is the 100th career win for Craig Esherick here at Georgetown. His only head coaching job. Esherick, in one capacity or another, Bucky, has been affiliated with this Georgetown program as a player, assistant, or head coach 29 years out of the last 30.
That's called a life. lifer. But I'll tell you what, Gary Waters found some offense today. And some of his younger players were tested under fire. They almost pulled it out. But I think now he's got some depth, as we pointed out, with that young backcourt. Rutgers with a strong front line, quick scoring guards. They're going to be tough.
All right, for Bucky Waters, I'm Bob Nicosi. So long from Washington. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television.